Hello, everybody, and welcome to ohmTown on Twitch. I'm gonna flip over to the. There we go. Take a look and make sure that everything's going out okay. Everything's looking like it's going out okay. Today's gonna be quick. So I've been trying to stick to a 6 o'clock schedule every day. And today, unfortunately, kind of threw a curveball my way. I ended up in the emergency department for 10 hours. Nothing tested as wrong. Everything seems fine. But there I was for 10 hours through a shift change and then some. So I am late. And I'm going to stick to my schedule and just do a really quick rundown of some news. Not a lot. Not going to go into a long discussion. But I promised myself that I would do a show every single day in 2022 and then some. It all depends on if people embrace this. But I'm going to do everything. Just really brief. As with my intro with everything, I'm actually working on something else as an intro, kind of like an autoplay kind of thing. But ohmTown is a news aggregation site and community, and I'm looking for people who find interest in these articles that get aggregated to talk about them, both offline in the, well, I should say off stream in the discussion boards on ohmTown.com and in Twitch. Kind of build a community around these 6 main categories. Create or creator, maker. I might be changing these ultimately. So creator, news, education, entertainment, social, and technology. And there are groups within them. Each one intends to be a show eventually. And I hope that you are interested in these shows. A total of 50 of them are planned in various states of disarray. And I'm looking for hosts and co-hosts. So if you are interested, drop me a line. That said, let's get on with this very, very short show. But I wanted to at least maintain a presence and keep the promise to myself. I will be here tomorrow at 6 o'clock as well. 6 o'clock Eastern. Let me turn this down a little bit. So at any rate, on with the show. I used to play Ultima when I was younger, and when it went online, I never really got into it, but I think it's great that Ultima Online turns 25 in September, and it's still doing updates. And let me see. I don't think they're streaming right now, but there is a streamer, Forest of Wires, who is a wizard, and great production. Great show. You should take a look. Just look up Forest of Wires on Twitch. I don't think that you'll be disappointed. Mainly because it plays great music. There's actual storyline here. It might come across as something that you've never experienced before. And so I hope you enjoy it. But it's fun to watch and fun to interact with everybody in chat and the host. So go and check it out, Forest of Wires. Anyway, he plays Ultima Online regularly and even has events on the game. So in the game, I'm going to click the link like I normally do. And you go over to PC Gamer. It's an article written by Ted Litchfield. And yeah, I think it's really interesting that it's 25 years old and almost, well, not in the grand scheme of things anymore. as time goes on, it encompasses less of my gaming period, but Ultima was a love of mine. The game was just so much fun. But I can't spend too much time on any one article. So go and check it out over at PC Gamer. And of course, you can always see it on ohmTown. The next article is Chrome is changing its logo for the first time in 8 years. A new Chrome logo side by side with the previous variations is posted over on Twitter. If you follow the link from the Word in Tech, or better yet, this is how I want you to do it. If you see this article on ohmTown, click on the Visit the Source link. It'll take you over to The Verge. And Emma Roth wrote this article. And there you can see the change in the logos. Subtle, very subtle, but still changing the logo, the image, the first thing you see, as it were. Yeah, probably the most subtle logo change that I have witnessed, but let's keep going. Delta proposes a national no-fly list for combative passengers. Click this link. It'll take you over to The Hill. This article is written by, let's see, who is it written by? Caroline Vakil, I think it is. Anyway, Delta proposes national no-fly list for combative passengers. Heck, I think that it should just be for bad acting passengers, not even combative. Combative means that they're sitting there fighting in the aisles and throwing cans of beer at each other. How about just a no-fly list for people that put their feet on somebody else's armrest, for crying out loud? How many times have you seen a picture of somebody's horrible feet sitting pinned against the armrest in the window of the passenger in front of them? You want to see combative. Anyway, not even going to pursue this as a discussion because I'm all for no-fly lists for combative. I think it should be extended to people who put their feet up on armrests or kick seats. Okay. I'm getting loud and cranky because I spent 10 hours in the emergency department. This is an article over on Mobile on ohmTown, sourced from New York Times. Just that little snippet. Yes, exercise is hugely beneficial, but can too much of a good thing cause tension in your relationship? Sure, if you're really needy. If my significant other wants to ride a bike for 8 hours a day, so be it. I'm in a weird mood today. But anyway, a lot of people are riding their Pelotons all over their house. And the treadmill now too. And if TV shows are any indicator, people are having heart attacks on them. So that's why I'm not going to get a Peloton. No, that's not why I'm not going to get a Peloton. I'm not going to get a Peloton because it's $5,000 or something like that. And a monthly fee. I've got a treadmill and a rowing machine and a stationary bike. And I subscribe to Apple Plus. So I get all kinds of exercise stuff. Now I just got to do it instead of being online scanning news. Okay, I'm just going to keep on rolling because today's going to be a really, really short day. Really short day. I apologize. Sorry, but not sorry. In the continuity report, this article over on Variety, written by Todd Spangler, Spotify removes 70 episodes of Joe Rogan Experience. Podcast host apologizes for using N-word and other things. There was some, I guess, Planet of the Apes story or something like that in unison with this N-word fiasco. I think it's weird that somebody would drop this right during the turmoil of Joe Rogan and the false information, misinformation um, kind of apology that he made about that, where he says that he was accused of giving misinformation, and well, really either you are or you aren't, and it can be innocent. Like I can sit there and say that a Peloton is $25,000. That's misinformation, but it's not to the level where somebody is going to willfully care not for their own health and the health of society around them. This is a different kind of oops, right? So that coupled with this, I don't think I've ever dropped the N word. Honestly, I think that if people actually say that word and get punched in the face for saying it, it wouldn't eventually lose its meaning, because the N word is kind of like saying something to, like spelling it out so that a child doesn't understand the word that you're saying, even though if you were to say that, spell out that word to my kid, he would know what it is because he's been educated in what has happened in American history. Oh my gosh, I haven't eaten anything until about an hour ago. Maybe I'm not thinking straight right now and I'm just divulging a little much, but I'm telling you, I don't understand anybody that can say the N word, or even say the N word as the N word. I mean, it has no place in the lexicon of humanity. Oh, okay. I got to keep rolling. Otherwise I'm going to steam into being high blood pressure or something. I don't know. We can talk about it more if you want to, but we're going to have to talk about it tomorrow. We can talk about it in chat later. If you see this VOD and you want to talk about it live, let's talk about it live. But it's just, I don't know. I guess my worldview is different in that I don't think that I've ever written the word or said the word outside of an academic educational context wherein it is being used in such a way to say this is the antithesis of what humanity is, of what society is. This one word, right? It is the embodiment, really, of an epoch of time in human history where it should never happen again. It shouldn't. It also shouldn't be stamped out as like, don't bother not saying, like, don't say that word, right? That kind of thing. It should exist as a moment in history where people are willing to talk about it and at the exact same breath say, this will never, ever happen again. Not even close to coming into reality again. So let's hope that we don't allow it to happen again. Okay, let's keep on going. So under mobile, there's an article that caught my eye. Can technology help us eat better? If you click this, you'll get taken to New York Times. A new crop of digital health companies. Why did it say that? Are using blood glucose monitors. A new crop of digital health companies are using, this is plural, are using blood glucose monitors to transform the way we eat. By the way, you can actually get a blood glucose monitor and it sticks on you, like right on your shoulder. I had it, I tested it for 2 weeks. Oh no, my information is wrong. I'll have to update it. 1 second, I'm sorry. And so I got the blood glucose monitor myself. I really messed up today. Anyway, I had the blood glucose monitor and I was testing my glucose level. And it was doing it in real time. Well, not real time. It would ping the receiver periodically with the value at the time of measuring of what my blood glucose is. What's really neat about it is it was rather seamless. You don't really feel it after installation, but there is a needle that's poking into your skin and kind of drinking blood a little bit. It's not really drinking it, but it still has punctured you. And if you sleep with it on, which you have to do because it's basically glued to you, it can kind of push in a little bit and push out. And sometimes it can bleed a little bit, particularly if you hit a vessel when you apply it. Didn't even bother me one little bit. You could shower with it. You could sleep with it. You could do all of your exercises. You could do anything that you want with the blood glucose monitor. Just kind of glued to you. It's a little puck. I can't even describe how big it was. Probably about that big, right? At any rate, everything was fine until one day I slipped and I slid across a door frame and ripped that thing right off my arm. And that was not a pleasant observation to see this little miniature needle sticking out of the puck, the sensor. But didn't hurt, didn't cause any issues. It just peeled off and landed on the floor. Good to know though, I never exceeded the recommended level for my blood glucose level. So I'm going to leave this right here. And then this next article, and the one that I think I'm going to end with, no, I think I got two more. The John Zazula, early promoter of heavy metal, dies at 69. So with his wife, he founded Megaforce, a label that released the first albums of Metallica and others. If you click the link, you'll get taken over to New York Times. And used to listen to Metallica and Anthrax and many more. But my musical interests span from classical music to death metal. And there's always a degrees of separation kind of a thing going on there as well. So everything is connected, just how I talk about society and technology. But we'll have to end up talking about all of this at another date. But there you go. Look at that. Metallica. Heavy metal lost one of its great champions today when Johnny Z left this world far too soon. Yes, at 69. I think it is far too soon, right? He was 69. It's a bummer. And this next article, it's housed in the Hatch Ideas group, which is a business strategic management show that I'm still working on building. At any rate, Peloton's fortunes race downhill as fitness fans return to gyms. And if you haven't heard, COVID is over, apparently. That's not true. COVID will be around in perpetuity for who knows how long, until it either dies off entirely or we have vaccines that are built strong enough to oust it entirely. But we shall see what the future holds for that. But Peloton is kind of taking a beating. The exercise maker is worth less than a fifth of its $50 billion valuation during the global lockdown. And that's because everybody couldn't go to a gym. And so if all of your eggs are in one basket, I suppose, when those hen houses open back up, I don't know why I'm using this farm chicken hen house analogy, but there you go. All of the roosts open up, everybody will be going somewhere else. I expanded my home gym because I didn't want to go to a gym to begin with. So I actually like the idea of the Peloton. I don't like gym trainers that are screamo at me. Nothing motivates me less than somebody yelling at me to get up and go do something. Maybe that's why I'm sedentary. But at any rate, you might like the Peloton. I think it's a great concept. I think it's a great idea for people to stay motivated and part of a group. That's kind of how things work in society. You find like-minded individuals and you bond over something, and you can stay motivated that way. And it's being part of society does a great thing for non-sociopathic people. Yeah, I kind of fell off the ledge there. But anyway, the whole idea of this business is that people are going to be riding their bikes. Anybody that bought a Peloton is probably going to stay with the Peloton for bike riding, but they might go to the gym again for other things, because you're not going to get weight training on a Peloton or a treadmill. You're going to have to lift weights, and not everybody has those weights in their house. Plus, you can't drop your weights in your house, particularly if you have like laminate floors or hardwood floors. If you have cement floors, it's not a big deal. But even getting them is astronomically expensive to get weights nowadays, at least. Anyway, what do you think? Today's going to be a short show. This is the short show. One more article is, I want to say something, but no, I might have an audience member that I don't want them to hear me say it. But anyway, CDC launches COVID-19 wastewater surveillance dashboard. And if you don't know what wastewater is, let me click this link. It might actually say what it is. So more than 34,000 samples have been collected, representing 53 million Americans. Okay, if you don't catch the subtle nuance of what that means, wastewater is sewage. Yeah. So the CDC tracks COVID-19 in wastewater samples across the country to see if it's rising or falling. And it's a really good indicator because it persists long enough for samples to actually show how much virus is being expelled, which is kind of gross, but also fascinating because you can actually do that with other things. And so, wouldn't it be surprising to find out that depending on where you live, your wastewater is giving a profile to interested bodies of what is being flushed away. They can detect drugs that have been flushed away. They can detect biologicals that have been flushed away, chemicals that have been flushed away. And with enough forensic research, you can trace it right down to the pipe that's extending or expelling it out into the wastewater system. And there is somebody that has that job. You have to really love your job. You have to love what you do. Now, anything to track this and other illnesses and stamp it out is great. So this is an article by Mary Kakatos over at ABC News. I think that's where we're going to end today's show. I know it's really short, only about 30 minutes. But I am beat, and I need to just recharge. So I am going to call it really early. Thank you if you watched this little episode, this little mini-sode, I guess you could call it. But that's it for today. Thanks for coming to ohmTown on Twitch.